Thank you for tuning in to the third episode of Split Second. A young woman is attacked and abducted and is all caught on camera. At first glance, there doesn't appear to be much to this video, but when we look closer, we'll see key elements that led to this attacker's, or should I say cowards, capture. First, we'll watch the video. Second, I'll give you some background on this case. And lastly, we'll do the breakdown. So, let's jump right in. This video and background information comes to you in part from Investigation Discovery and Channel 12 News out of Atlanta.
The Long Walk Home, Episode 3.
Here we see a young lady being rushed down the street by a strange man before a brief struggle ensues. She is forced into the backseat of a car before her and the attacker disappear into the night. This young lady may not have been seen again if not for her quick thinking and her will to survive. The date was November 2nd, 2014. 22-year-old CNA Carlesha Gaither was walking home from a family gathering just before 9:40 p.m. At the same time that she passes an apartment building, a man comes out and begins to walk behind her. Dwayne Fletcher is headed to the store. He steps outside into the dark night and heads off. There is a young lady in front of him who seems to be nervous about his sudden appearance. In an attempt to make her feel more comfortable, Dwayne crosses the street despite his route not calling for him to do so. It wasn't long before the young lady turns a corner and disappears. Dwayne continues on his way, but doesn't get too far before he hears a scream. He knew right away it was the young lady who had just been walking in front of him. A predator stalks the streets of Germantown, PA under the cover of night. The monster has come prepared with his tools of the trade: zip ties, a hammer, and a stack of license plates. Delvin Barnes sits in his car, waiting for his next victim. He is no stranger to violent crimes. He has convictions for armed robbery and aggravated assault. He is also suspected in the October 28, 2014 rape and kidnapping of a 16-year-old girl. He lies in wait until he spots his next target, a young lady walking alone. He exits the car and approaches the woman as she reaches the corner. He approaches her under a guise of being lost. The cunning predator asks for directions while extending his hand to shake. But when Carlesha takes his hand, he tightens his grip and begins to drag her down the block towards his waiting car. Carlesha was held captive for 3 days before being rescued. Her captor was captured and sentenced to 32 years. Now for the breakdown. Being able to make a split-second decision under extreme stress is difficult, and Carlesha did extremely well. But we must talk about the one huge mistake she did make that could have kept her safe. That mistake was walking home alone at night. According to the OJJDP, the peak time for violent crimes committed by adults starts at about 9 p.m. and starts to drop off about 2 a.m. If you have no other choice but to walk alone at night, consider carrying a weapon. Just make sure to check with your state laws before doing so. If you don't feel comfortable carrying a gun or a knife, there are many other options like pepper spray or tasers. Most of us carry keys, and in a pinch, they can easily be transformed into a self-defense tool. And as a last resort, we can use what our mama gave us. We punch, kick, scratch, and bite if we have to. Self-defense isn't pretty, so let's get ugly. Another mistake she made, and this is one that we've talked about before, is letting strangers inside of your personal space. As he was approaching, she could have tried to use verbal commands like "stay back" and said it loud enough to draw the attention of anyone close by. Criminals don't want witnesses to their crimes. Now, for what she did right. Once she realized she was in danger, she got loud. She screamed and yelled, which got the attention of Dwayne. While he wasn't able to make it to her in time, you can see him here coming to help. He also called 911 and became a great witness. Good job, Dwayne. Carlesha didn't make it easy for this loser. She fought both inside and outside of the car. We see her here putting up a struggle. Stats say that your chances of survival drop by 50% if you are taken from the scene by the kidnapper. This is why it's so important for you to do everything in your power to prevent from being taken. It's hard to see in the grainy footage, but Carlesha tosses both her cell phone and her glasses, hoping that they would be found and used to help find her. They were. Smart thinking on her part. Once Carlesha was in the car, Dwayne told the 911 dispatch he heard what sounded like a gunshot and that the back window was blown out. What really happened was, once Carlesha was put in the back of the car, she found a hammer under one of the seats. She used the tool to strike Mr. Barnes in the head. She described the scene as being bloody after she did so. She thought she had rendered her attacker unconscious because he had slumped over the steering wheel, holding his head, and he was quiet. She then turned the hammer on the back window, using it to smash out the glass. Although Barnes was able to pull Carlesha back through the window, the broken glass left behind was yet another breadcrumb for police to follow. With some quick thinking from Carlesha and Dwayne and some speedy police work, Carlesha was returned to her family after 3 long days. Avoid walking alone at night, and if it's a must, have something to defend yourself with. Keep people out of your reactionary gap. I can't stress this enough. Space equals time, time equals options. If you are being taken, fight like hell. Chances of survival drop 50% if you are taken from the scene. And lastly, keep your head. Look for any opportunity to escape or notify someone you're in trouble. Carlesha chose not to be a victim that day. Though she may live with physical and mental scars, she remains strong. And she has a message for others.
They could just really learn from my story, to not give up, to keep fighting.
Thanks for watching. And until next time, stay safe, my friends.
If you liked this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so we may keep bringing you videos like these.